Everyone, this is the AMZ Answers podcast, your week daily 10-minute blast of Amazon knowledge. This is episode number 16, Make a Listing That Sells.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? This is episode number 16, Make a Listing That Sells. I am up here in the dog shack with my brother Noah. I am Adam.
What's up? Theme song just ended.
Theme song ended.
Bolt right to the tip of the penis.
Penis.
Yeah, we'll usually play almost the whole thing before we start podcasting, and it really gets us going.
Oh, yeah, we're amped up. We're going to talk. This week is launch week. This is episode number 1. We're going to talk about all the things you need to do to launch. What do you have, gripe?
It's episode number 16, but episode number 1 of launch week.
Yeah, let's make this as confusing as possible.
The more nomenclature you have in a podcast.
It's episode 16, launch week. It just launched. Let's just say it's just launch week.
The more nomenclature you have, the better your podcast is. That's what they say.
What is a gripe? What's a gripe that you have?
Okay, my seller account in the UK.
It's not a gripe. It's not a gripe because it's not petty. It's like a real thing that's wrong.
Fuck you. It's a gripe. It's a gripe I have. My seller account in the UK has been suspended. I have no idea why. I'm probably one of the only people paying taxes actually correctly in the UK. So Amazon has not sent me an email or sent me a notification. So that's been fun to deal with this week. It makes me upset. I had to say that gripe. What's your gripe?
I have a gripe.
Yeah. You have a gripe about my gripes.
I have a gripe. Is that when I say have a gripe, it needs to be a gripe and not like something that's really wrong. No. I don't like when people say things that are actually wrong with them.
No,
in terms of a gripe.
That's true. Let's start with the episode, though.
Yeah. All right, make a listing that sells. What are some things you could do to make sure that your listing converts people to click on that add to cart button? That's what you're really trying to get them to do.
Okay, so as you guys have heard in our product research section, once you've done the research on your product, you're going to know pretty much in the niche what you differentiated your product to. So let's say, for example, that we always use the tape measure, but I'm going to go for it again. Let's say that you were looking at the tape measure niche and you realized that people were upset that the tape measure only went to 50 feet and didn't go to 100 feet. Well, your differentiator, you're going to put that right in the front of your listing. So in your listing, there's the title, right? That's the thing that when people search for the general keyword that they see. So if people search tape measure, it's going to come up. And then your bullet points, right? And that's when they click into your listing. It's called the listing detail page. They're going to see the bullet points. So your differentiator should be the first thing. Many people make this mistake. They put their seller name first. Like they put Bakayoyo. If Bakayoyo, if that's your seller name, they'll be like Bakayoyo tape measure 100 feet. No one cares what your seller name is or your brand name because, most likely you're not, a household name. So put the differentiator first in your title.
Right. So if for instance, if you're selling with a battery, you'd want to put battery included right in like the first 3 words.
Talk about that.
Okay. Well, so if you have a differentiator, like you were saying, you want to not only put that in the first 3 words, but as we'll go into in the next episode, you want to make sure your differentiator comes across in your photos. So what we really like to do is if we're selling it, say I'm bundling it, say tape measure with magnetic strip, 100 feet long, blah blah, then the rest of your keywords up there in the title.
Yep, exactly. So you want to put your differentiator up there first, definitely, and then you want to put the main points that people are looking to buy the product. So for a tape measure, does it have the little hook on the end? Is it retractable? So you would put, for example, 100-foot tape measure, easily retractable. Stainless steel hook at the end.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
One thing I like to do is I like to look at the titles of all the other sellers in my niche, and I like to copy a similar pattern, but put in my differentiator, what makes mine better than theirs, in the first 5 words.
Yep, that's good. And people have told me that this helps the SEO of it, but I kind of think they're full of shit. I haven't been able to test this, so I don't know. Do you know the brackets so let's say that you have a 100-foot tape measure. They put that vertical line after that. So they'd be a 100-foot tape measure, vertical line, stainless steel hook at the end.
Yeah.
People have told me, other sellers have told me that helps your SEO. I don't actually think so.
I don't think it helps your SEO.
I don't think it helps. It just looks
nice.
Good. It
can look nice.
That's what I'm saying. How do you feel about putting HTML in for the bullet points descriptions?
Oh yeah, no, I feel good about that.
Okay.
Are we on bullet points? We're still doing title. Anything else you want to say about the title?
What I want to say about the title is that you can put by So what I do is that for each of my items, I actually, even though it's under one seller account, I have different branding for each of my items that is more honed into the item. So let's say that like for a tape measure, it'd be like hardware tools for you. That's what I would put. I would put buy hardware tools for you, not by necessarily your seller name.
You're talking about doing buy hardware tools for you at the end of the title.
The reason is you want to make it seem like that's the only thing you're selling is hardware tools, so you're like really legit.
That's one good thing that you do is you do that, and then in the picture you'll put like some sort of branding sticker, and then but it has no way associated with actually your store name or your brand name on Amazon. It's just kind of like a cheat to make it seem like it is a separate brand.
Exactly. Just make it seem like make it seem like you only sell hardware tools.
Right, because people want to buy from hardware tools for you.
Right.
They don't want to buy from Tom's General Store.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to buy from Tom's General Store or like big seller Dan.
Big old Dan.
Big old Dan
Big
seller.
Dan seller.
Big Dan seller.
Big Dan.
Okay, we got like 4 minutes. You want to move on to bullet points?
All right, bullet points. For bullet points, you're going to use HTML. And if you're not comfortable with that, there's a bunch of HTML converters out there that will convert a Word document to HTML for you. But the reason that you're going to do HTML is so you can make it nicely formatted and get some nice emoticons in there, like a check mark, and nice spacing, and make a nice list. Yes.
Yeah. So in the bullet point section, you don't need to use HTML. The reason we say HTML is what we're saying is that, when you go into a listing and it has like a nice little like check mark instead of a bullet point, and you're like, how did the seller get that? Well, they're using HTML that they put into that bullet point. So, and you can really, really easily look that stuff up. And there's an extension for it.
There's a Unicode. It's a Unicode character. Look up Unicode characters extension, and then it'll give you a list of it shows you like 300 symbols, and you just copy and paste the symbol into your listing. It's harder to explain verbally than it is. You just saw it.
As far as effect, from like what I've seen by using the pictures instead of the bullet points, I personally feel like it definitely depends on the item. You don't want to use like crazy pictures. I would stick with black and white, but I like the check marks instead of the bullet points. I kind of like. I think they look a little bit nicer.
I've used pictures for a really specific niche. I used pictures for my garden products.
Yours were cool.
I think it works well.
Okay.
The sales have gone up when I've tested it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I want to get just a little bit into like actual, instead of like subjective listing stuff, some like how you can collect data on the keywords. Again, keyword inspector, one we really like, to run reverse ASINs for all those competitors. I'm saying how they can collect keyword data to put into their listing. Like they're like, what words should I put in to help me rank?
Yes, stuff your bullet points and your title obviously with keywords.
So yeah, exactly. So what I do is I run a reverse ASIN using keyword inspector for all my competitors, and then I make like a list of all the top keywords, and then I have that next to me while I'm writing the bullet points, and I stuff them in there.
Yeah.
The other one I use, which is the one that pulls up like the things that are similar. Hold on, everybody. We're going to Google Chrome, and we're going Keyword Tool Dominator. Boom. Thank you.
Yeah.
I use Keyword Tool Dominator. I type in tape measure, and it'd come up with tape measure 50 feet, tape measure 25 feet, and then I would type in, something like this tape measure is better. It has 25 feet, 50 feet, and 100 feet. It's like an all-in-one tape measure or some shit. Okay. Well, Adam, do you have anything else?
I think we're going to go over more keyword tools and business reports in another episode. But making a listing that sells is all about finding the emotional, like what is the problem that they have when they come to your listing. If it's tape measure, they're like, fuck, I can't measure this shit. I need something to measure this in inches. So in your bullet points, you'll say, one of your differentiators could be measures more specifically than other tape measures, and in capitals, dash, and then a paragraph explaining why your tape measure does that. So I think it's important to hit the emotional problem with the bullet points.
Yep. It all goes back to your research that you've done at the beginning to find out how you differentiated. All right. Well, guys, you can find us. We've migrated. Find us on our Facebook group, the AMZ Answers Podcast Mastermind Group. Find us, join, ask us any kind of question.
Go to amzanswers.com if you want. Check out the new home of the podcast.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you next episode. Bye.